Also today, a teen faces life in prison without parole after a jury found him guilty this afternoon of capital murder.
Jonathan Perales killed a well-respected Universal City physician assistant during a home invasion. Eyewitness News reporter Addie Wahardo was in the courtroom as the jury handed down the verdict.
After 2 full days of testimony, family and friends packed the courtroom. The highly anticipated verdict read guilty, bringing both sides of the family to tears.
Exactly 1 year and 1 day ago, Michael Robinson took his last breath, protecting his family from a burglar who fired a fatal shot. And today, the man who killed him, Jonathan Perales, learned his fate.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Jonathan Perales, guilty of capital murder.
The verdict brought pain and tears, but Robinson's family drew courage to face the man who took their father and brother away.
I recently got married this summer, and I had to walk down without my father next to me.
He was the best big brother and son. He was patient and protective of us.
During closing arguments, the defense argued that Perales didn't intend to kill Robinson during the burglary, but prosecutors pointed to social media pictures that showed a teen armed and dangerous.
He's telling everybody what his intent is, with bars on his tongue and a barrel pointed up.
Their conclusion, he intended to kill Robinson. Perales' mother's cries echoed in the courtroom.
It could have gone both ways, but God chose my son to live, and I believe this is his second chance to redeem himself and to live for the purpose of God.
A faith strong enough to make peace as Perales faces life in prison without the possibility of parole.
We offer you forgiveness.
Despite this tragedy, both families are bonded by their faith in God. They say He's going to help them through these tough times. Addie Guajardo, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.